Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to make a YouTube thumbnail image using Gimp. Now one thing I want to mention about Gimp, why it's the perfect thing to use, is A, it's free, and B, it works on everything. It works on Windows, it works on Apple computers, it works on Linux, so it's just perfect to use. So when you first open Gimp, this is the image you're given. This is your toolbox. This is your layers window. What you want to do is go to File and hit New, and you get this Create New Image window. So put the size of the video frame size that you're using, which if you're doing 1080p, then the size is going to be 1920 pixels for the width, and it's going to be 1080 for the height. Now, before you click OK, you can hit the Advanced tab if you want, and you can choose Fill with Background Color, which would be white. This is the color I have chosen. Foreground color, which would be black. Or you could do Transparency, which would be just a transparent image. I'm just going to select foreground, or rather I'll do background color so it's filled with white. And this is what I'm given. This is the frame I'm going to start working with. So now, what you want to do for a YouTube thumbnail, typically you find a clip from the video that you're using, or you take a picture that's related to the video that you're editing. So for example, I have this picture of me catching a fish, and this is going to be a video about catching fish. So this is what I'm going to use. So you find that picture in your file browser, and just right click on it and click Open with Gimp. And then, so this is going to ask you if you want to rotate it or keep the orientation. If I rotate it, it's going to stand it upright in a portrait. So that way it's in the right direction, but it doesn't really matter. You can click rotate or keep, it doesn't really matter. And here's the image that I'm going to start with. So first, let's make this bigger. I'm going to click at the bottom right corner of this window, and I'm going to drag this bigger. And what I want to do is I want to cut this image out, so that way I can eliminate the background and have a transparent background. So the first step is you go over to your Layers tab right here. And where you see that layer, you're going to right-click it and hit Add Alpha Channel. This is going to make for a transparent background. And then you want to go down to the window with the picture in it, and you'll see this tab right here. This is the sizes that you can look at. This is zooming in. So I'm going to want to zoom in to about 200%. So you can use these sliders here to scroll, or you can typically scroll with a two-finger scroll on the mouse pad. So that's what I'm doing. And in order to cut this image out, you want to grab the pen tool from your toolbox. Your toolbox here, and you have this tool, the path tool is what it's called. It kind of looks like a fountain pen. So what it's called, path tool. Quick key command for it is B. So I'm going to click the path tool, and now I have this tool. I'm literally just going to click all around the edges. And this is the reason you zoom in. You want to get nice and close. So I'm going to click all around here and just cut myself out. It doesn't take quite as long as it looks. It looks like a real pain, but it's not. Now let's just say you accidentally mess up. See, I just messed up. I don't want that. You hit Control Z, and you can undo those points, and you can start again. So if you mess up, and you can also grab a point and you can move it too. So if I'm over here, I can move it back over here. Okay, so when you start getting towards the end of where you're going to cut out, you just try and connect the dots. So I can just go back over here, and that's about all you need to do. So now if I zoom back out, you can see I just drew a bunch of points around myself. So now what you do, you right-click somewhere in the image and you hit Select from Path. Then you right-click again, hit Select Invert. Then you can hit the Delete key in your keyboard, or you can right-click and go to Edit and Clear. And that is now removing the background on the image. And one thing that I do before I move on is, let's say I want to use this at some point in the future for another thumbnail, but I don't feel like cutting it out again. Well, if I go to File and Save As, I can type me holding fish cut out. And this is going to save it as XCF, which is Gimp's file format. So you would literally just find where you want to save it. So I'll just save it right here. And if I ever need this again, I can just open that file. I don't have to cut it out again. Okay, so this is now all cut out. And all I want to do now is get this image here is cut out into this main window. So all you got to do is click on this window, click on the layer, and you just drag and drop it into the main window, which is going to be our thumbnail. As you can see, I'm a little bit on the big side, so I want to make myself smaller. So I'm going to go over to my toolbox, and I'm going to click the scale tool, which is these two little boxes here. Click in the image, and if I click on the width, for example, the width and the height will scale at once because this is checked. This is the link. This links the width and the height. See, if I want to, I can delink them, and I can do just the width or just the height. But for now, I'm going to link them. So I can hold the down arrow and slowly scale this down, or I can just type in a number. I'll type in 1650 and hit scale. This is going to take a minute, and now it scales. So after it scales, you go back to your toolbox and you click the little crosshair. This is the move tool. Click this, and it allows you to do just what it says, which is to move the image. So I can put the image of me holding Senor Fisherita down here. So now I have this white background with me holding the fish. Now I want the background to be a different color. I mean, white's no good. So I'm going to go to my colors here, which is in the toolbox. I got white and yellow selected. I can select a different color, like I can select red, for example, or I can just do yellow and yellow. As a matter of fact, let's just do that. I'm going to make a big yellow background. You know what? I don't know. For the hell of it, I'll do red. So now I got this red and yellow selected. So now, in order to get it in the background, you have this blend tool. And you click the blend tool, and that's going to blend it just into the background. So you just click and drag. And the reason it did that, why did it do this? Well, as you can see, I have the wrong layer selected. So I'm going to hit Control Z and undo this. And in my Layers tab, I'm going to click Background. Now when I do it again, now it's just the background that it does. So now I have this background here. And something that I just want to point out is you can mess with the parameters of the blend tool. So this is on linear. I can do radial and have like a circle. See, I have this little red dot with a circle. That's kind of cool. I can do spiral, which is pretty intense. That's a pretty intense background. But for the heck of it, maybe I'll do square. Let's see about that. All right, yeah, I got a square. Kind of draws your eye, I guess, to the back of my head. This actually, I kind of like this. See, now I have this multicolored background here. So I just blended a little bit of red with some yellow. And let's go. And depending on where you drag is how it affects the image. See, when I pull it down, it pulls it down here a bit more. So I'm just going to pull it, say, diagonal, maybe over here, see what it looks like. A little bit more. All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. So now I have me standing here with a fish, and I can do text if I want to. So I have Toolbox, and I just click the A for text, and I'm going to change this to black. And this is my, where you pick the text, you got the text selector, so I can select the text. So I'll hit sans bold for the heck of it. And Now I'm just going to hit kayak fishing. So this is way off the chart, so I can change where the text is. I'm going to have to zoom out here in order to bring this box back into the frame. There it is. Now I can zoom back in. And I'm going to extend it over to here. And you can see I have kayak fishing selected, or texted in there, shall I say. Let's make it even a little bit bigger. It's good to make the text as big as you possibly can, just because it's only on a very small thumbnail. That's good right there. Let's say I wanted some crazy looking background behind kayak fishing. So I can go over here to the toolbox, and I have a square tool and a circle tool. Well, I'll hit the square tool, and I'm going to go over here to the Layers tab, right-click, hit New Layer, and I'm going to name it Box Text. All right, you hit OK, and you put this box underneath the text. See, Box Text and the Layers tab is now underneath the text. Draw box. Resize box. Okay, so now I have white selected. I got my blend tool, and I am going to blend the box. So the box is now white. So just to make this pop a little bit more, I got a white background behind a black text. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the eraser tool. And you can see the size of the brush is in the parameters. Like this would be a huge brush. This would be a, here we go. Now this is a much smaller brush. So I'm going to select New Box and make sure that's selected in the Layers tab. And I'm just going to erase a lot of that white. See, all I want to do is I wanted to make a little bit of a white backdrop for the text to be against. So I don't want it to be like this total, white box. I just want it to have a little bit of white so the text pops. So now the text kind of pops because it's got that little bit of white fuzzy background. I could do another box, for example, and hit New Layer. I'll call it Box Me. Box Me. And I'm going to draw the box, you guessed it, right around me. All right. So now what I'll do is I'm going to, let's say, I'm going to make this purple. It's going to be a purple box. And I'm going to paint the color purple into this box. So now I want to click the Erase tab. So the Erase tools. Now I got my eraser up again. And I'm going to, for the time being, increase the size of that brush. And I'm going to erase a lot of what's around me. So basically I'm just going to use this as a highlight. So I just made like a little highlight around myself. And Senor Fisherita. Highlights are kind of good because they really help you to pop from the background, which, popping from the background, of course, is the goal. Let's get up here a little bit. And you can make this look a lot prettier if you actually put some effort into it, which I'm kind of not. So you can see now I have this colorful looking image here. I have this little bit of a glow behind me, this purple glow. And I went a little too far. So if you go too far, you hit undo, Command, Control Z, and that'll undo it just like any other software. And this is a halfway decent thumbnail, and I could upload this, and it would be a kayak fishing thumbnail. And that's essentially it. So now, in order to save this, you hit File, hit Save As. And my computer's being slow since I'm using a screen capture software. It won't be this slow. I'll save it kayak thumb, and I'll just save this to the desktop. And now this saves the actual project. So now I want to export this so I can use it on YouTube. So hit File, export, kayak thumb. I usually use JPEGs. You just get rid of the extension, just type whatever you want. You can type JPEG, PNG, TIFF, whatever you want. And I'll save this to the thumbnail, the desktop, which is right there. Hit export. I put the quality on 100 and export it. And now I have my kayak fishing thumbnail for YouTube right there. Thanks for watching, everyone.